Hey guys, terminating Yu-Gi-Oh player here. Right now I'm doing a deck profile with one of my friends, Sam. Say hello, Sam.
Eh,
And right now he's doing a deck profile for me about Magician
Odd Eyes
Xyz.
Magicians.
Oh yeah, he's doing a deck profile for me since I didn't, whatever. Right now, all right, we'll do the deck profile now.
Now, keep in mind this deck isn't really complete heat, per se, so there's still a few tweaks to be added. But first off, I have 3 copies of Wisdom Eye Magician. You know, to search out pendulums, put them in the pendulum scale, stuff like that. You know, the usual. 2 copies of Oath Dragon Magicians. Like I said, not complete heat. I would rather have 3, you know, to search out pendulums in my extra deck. 2 copies of Noble Dragon Magicians. Gotta have that Odd Eyes tuner. 3 copies of Dragon Pit Magicians. Hey, you can't have too many scale 8s. So, next up, we have 2 copies of Dragon Pulse Magician in as a backup to Dragon Pit Magician and for monster destruction. After that, we have 2 copies of Xiang Qi Magician. It's pretty good on its own, even better in combination with my next card, Xiang Shang Magician. You know, to summon Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, and, you know, the usual. Well, not really the usual. I rarely summon it. Perform Pal Skullcrabat Joker, currently limited to 1, so that's why I only run 1. So, this is to search out cards and, you know, what it's usually used for. Perform Pal Drummerilla, pretty good as a beast type material for beast eyes and can be pretty helpful in boosting attack. Now we get on to X Saber Airbellum, just the basic tuner, or no big deal. Finally, the main star of the show, 2 copies of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. I run it at 2 because, well, why not? It's the main focus of the deck, and as such, I run 2, and they're easy to search out. Next up is Odd Eyes Dragon. Now, you may be wondering why. Well, it's basically Ada's help summon out Odd Eyes Saber Dragon, which destroys 2 monsters. Next, since this is a pendulum build, and as a result renewable, I run Obelisk the Tormentor, so I sacrifice 2 pendulum monsters, pendulum summon them back, use its effect all over again. Next up is Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon, and the ritual monster of the group. It's pretty much just it's a kind of anti-monarch, since it sends spell and traps back to the deck, and you know their field spell is pretty much useless with this. Next up is 2 copies of Odd Eyes Fusion, searchable Obvious Sky Iris, and used to fusion summon dragon types. One copy of Odd Eyes Advent, once again, searchable. Oh, and it's pretty good, and it's necessary to summon out Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon. 3 copies of Sky Iris to search out my Odd Eyes monsters and spells. Oh, and you can never have enough of these. They are really useful. 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon in case Dragon Pit doesn't cut it. 2 copies of Pendulum Call to search out pendulum monsters. 2 copies of Wavering Eyes, which will help me search out pendulum monsters by getting rid of 2 useless ones in my pendulum zones. Monster Reincarnation, because as you know, there is rarely, other than Oath Dragon Magician, there is no way I can get monsters from my graveyard onto the field. Raigeki, limited to 1. I'm very good at clearing the field. And finally, my one and only trap, Torrential Tribute. Since pendulum monsters go to the extra deck, I can afford to lose some monsters for the turn. Now, onto my extra deck. 1 copy of Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. And the usual summon, return an attack position monster to the hand, and negate age effects. Dark Rebellion XC's dragon, since, well, it's kind of obvious at this point. Spoiler alert, it's Odd Eyes Rebellion. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, pretty good at swarming the field with Odd Eyes. Exploder Dragon Wing. If I use a dragon type as a tuner, I can as a non-tuner, I get to summon it, and it is pretty useful in some situations. I'm planning on replacing it with Enlightenment Paladin soon, but I digress. Rune Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Like I said, Odd Eyes Fusion is there. Odd Eyes Fusion is there for a reason. This card is pretty good, and I'm pretty enthusiastic about it. Ancient Fairy Dragon. This is pretty useful when using Sky Iris. So I can gain 1,000 life points, search out another Sky Iris, play it, use its effect again, and pretty useful. Especially, and if my opponent has a field spell, all the more better for me. Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This is basically a beater in this. I just need to sacrifice a dark dragon and a beast. Speaking of beasts, Leos, Keeper of the Sacred Tree. This will be a good beater and good with protection, and I can use it to summon beast eyes, which will make it deal 3,100 damage every time it destroys a monster. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon, and another Earth Synchro Odd Eyes, which allows me to use monsters at my pendulum zones to summon them out onto the field. Star Eater, this can be useful as a beater and some decent protection. Clearwing Synchro Dragon. This is good. This is just, the usual a dragon type synchro monster you would use. What else would you use? Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. Then bounce power. This card is pretty useful. Haven't yet used this because I'm still developing this deck, but I have a feeling it's going to go a long way. Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. And you just can't have enough of this card and searchable art, and you can pendulum summon it over and over again, and you can bring it out onto the field with the help of Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. Number 103 Ragnar Zero. Great combo with Dark Rebellion. Use Dark Rebellion's effect to have the opposing monster's attack points, then use this person's effect to destroy it, and then draw a card. Finally, a card that you just have to have in any level 7 build. Number 11, Big Eye. Just take control of an opponent's monster by using an overlay unit and in exchange for its attack. So that's the deck profile. Oh wait, here's the side deck. Stargazer Magician, actually 2 copies, and 2 copies of Time Gazer. Tuning Magician, I'm planning on having an Enlightenment Paladin in the future. This is a must. And that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Well, thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Alright guys, so that was deck profile for Magician Pendulums, and if you want more, just subscribe, like, and some views or whatever, and I'll see you guys later.